Welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, the cozy corner where glimmering headlines turn into heartbeats, and every whisper carries a story worth feeling. Tonight, dear family, we open the curtains on one of those rare nights when destiny does not knock softly. It bursts into a room full of glitter and laughter, reminding everyone that the past has an impeccable sense of timing. What unfolded between Çağatay Ulusoy and Hazal Kaya wasn't just a scene. It was a living, breathing echo of a connection that fans have never truly let go. Before we dive into this shimmering maze of glances and unsent messages, make sure you're subscribed, tap that like button so the algorithm knows you believe in real stories, and consider joining our inner circle with the join button. You'll be the first to hear tomorrow's secrets. The evening had all the trappings of perfection. A birthday celebration etched onto Istanbul's social calendar, a night destined for champagne smiles, designer hemlines, and carefully curated playlists. Invitations, elegant and mysterious, found their way into the hands of actors, producers, stylists, and friends, each card a promise that Hazal's night would be remembered for its beauty. Yet, no one predicted the twist that would turn that beauty into an unforgettable hush. The true surprise wasn't the hand-cut flowers or the impeccable lighting, it was a presence that gathered charge in the air long before he stepped inside. The question fluttered from ear to ear, a rumor that refused to stay quiet: is Çağatay coming? It didn't take long for that whisper to become the moment. The doors opened, and with them, a ripple spread through the room. Conversations thinned out, laughter softened, and for a heartbeat the entire venue seemed to exhale as every gaze moved toward the man who had once shared a world with Hazal, a man fans still believe understands a part of her no one else can touch. His entrance was not flashy, it didn't need to be. He wore understated elegance like a second skin, the kind that speaks to restraint, purpose, and respect. From the gentle sheen of his jacket to the tempered confidence in his walk, everything about him announced that he had not come to steal the spotlight, but neither would he disappear into it. Hazal, radiant and magnetic, was the axis around which the night revolved. Her dress seemed poured from moonlight, her hair effortless yet precise, her smile gracious and measured. And then, as fate insists in moments like these, they saw each other. Shock did not split the evening in two. Instead, it faded like a gasp, replaced by a quiet recognition that only history can write. She did not stumble or flinch, she remained the consummate host, accepting gifts, greeting friends, posing for photos. But those who can read the language of silence noticed it, the way the air trembled when their eyes found each other across the sea of guests. It was as if the past hadn't returned to haunt, but to be acknowledged, to be offered a chair and a glass of water, if only for one night. From that point forward, the party became a ballet of distance and proximity. He kept to the perimeter at first, exchanging polite nods, deflecting attention with courtesy, careful not to linger too close to where the cameras loved her most. She kept moving through the room with practiced warmth, aware of his presence without orbiting it. Photographers leaned in, searching for a frame that would break the internet. But no easy photograph presented itself. Not yet. Their restraint, if anything, spoke louder than 1,000 handholds. The cake appeared like a sunrise. Lights dimmed, a chorus of voices rose, and the cameras formed a halo around Hazal as the candles flickered. Somewhere in the circle of applause, he was there, clapping, smiling in that small, contained way that looks almost like gratitude. And then came a sliver of truth, barely visible to anyone who wasn't paying attention. She didn't look directly at him in that moment. It was a graceful sidestep of the gaze, a confession without words. Not rejection. Not quite pain. Something closer to honoring the tenderness of a scar. Music surged, glasses clinked, the DJ rediscovered the pulse of the evening. And yet, every melody seemed to rest on a thread. At one point a song drifted into the room, one of those tracks that fans still claim belongs to them, even if no one ever said it out loud. A few guests swear they saw it. The accidental glance, the half-smile, the immediate retreat into safety. Perhaps it meant nothing. Perhaps it meant everything. That is how stories like this keep breathing, even when the night expects you to simply keep dancing. Then came the moment everyone is now whispering about. Toward the end, as guests began to trickle out with goodie bags and glitter on their shoes, Hazal and Çağatay found a brief corner of quiet. No cameras, no stylists, no managers hovering like ever-watchful satellites. Just a shadowed edge of the venue where two people with a shared past could let the noise fall away. No one knows precisely what was said. Maybe it was simple. Maybe it was an apology, or a thank you, or a careful birthday wish threaded with memories. Some say their voices were calm, their expressions composed. Others insist they saw that flicker, the one you cannot fake. And then, as quickly as it opened, the moment closed. He left alone, slipping into the night with steady steps, offering no detours, no after-parties, no public statements. When the lights came up, what remained on Hazal's face spoke in quiet chapters. Joy for the night itself, for the friends and toasts and glittering speeches. But also reflection, a looking inward that doesn't seek validation from a camera lens. The morning after, her message on social media was brief and deliberate. Carefully chosen words that glided over the surface while letting the depths remain uncharted, a new phase, new intentions, and what still lingers in my heart. She didn't mention him. She didn't need to. Meanwhile, his accounts went still for the day, and silence did what it always does in this industry, it became the loudest sound of all. Was this encounter orchestrated or accidental? That question threaded itself through every brunch table and production office in town. Sources close to both insist that the invitation to him was real, that he considered it more than once before deciding to appear. Some whisper that mutual friends served as gentle bridges, believing that a face-to-face moment was overdue, whether it ended in closure or in the first step towards something new. Others maintain that she did not expect to see him, that the flicker of surprise in her eyes was not performance but truth. Either way, the evening held its line. No scenes, no spectacle, only a masterclass in self-control under the brightest lights. From small observations, a fuller picture emerges. He avoided being photographed beside her, never placing himself in the frame that would redefine the night within seconds. She, attentive and kind to every guest, skipped that one look during the cake that might have set the room ablaze. And yet there were those tiny, unguarded seconds. The shared rhythm when a familiar chorus played, the involuntary turn of the head when the other walked by, a brief lift at the corner of the mouth that read like a forgotten inside joke. Were they remembering a past that belonged to them, or a story the public had written on their behalf? Either way, the room felt it, a boundary was being respected, even as another, invisible one was being tested. By sunrise, the internet was already threading theories. Some insisted the reunion was proof of a thaw, a hint that old misunderstandings were melting into cautious warmth. Others said it was a farewell, a dignified nod to what had been, a moment designed not to rekindle, but to finally let the pages turn. Industry murmurs added a new layer. In the days since, they've reportedly found themselves at the same gatherings with mutual friends more than once, each time choosing civility over spectacle, soft dialogue over rumors. No statements have been made, the silence remains intact. But that very silence feels intentional, like two people refusing to let noise decide their narrative. So here we are, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, at the edge of an open question that may not need an answer tonight. Was that tender corner at the end of Hazal's birthday the beginning of a renaissance, or the most elegant goodbye two people could give each other under chandeliers and watchful eyes? Do you believe in second chances crafted with care and time, or do you think certain stories are most beautiful when they're allowed to rest, honored but not reopened? Tell us what your heart says. The comments are your stage, and we read every line. Before you go, be sure to like this video if you felt the electric hush of that night as we did. Subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what comes next. Because in this city, the wind carries more than petals and perfume. If you love being part of our circle, the join button is waiting with exclusive perks, early whispers, and deeper dives. Thank you for spending your time with us, for listening between the lines, and for trusting us to turn a headline into a heartbeat. We will be here when the next chapter arrives, ready to watch the doors open, ready to catch that first glance, ready to tell you the story as only this family can.